Hey, thanks for joining me today. We're going to talk about how to get gigs as a singer. Have you ever seen those gigs that Justin Timberlake and Beyonce have? They're incredible, right? How did they get started? Or Billie Eilish, how did she explode onto the scene? Well, the truth of the matter is everybody has to start somewhere. They usually all start in a place where gigs are smaller. And I'm excited to talk to you about this as well because there is a secret sauce to making your career work and getting more gigs as a singer. Now, I've been doing singing and music and performing for over 20 years. What a great career and what a fun thing. What I'm about to share with you will probably surprise you because I've made other videos where I talk about other things like preparation and being great on stage. Hey, we're going to talk about something different here today, and it's going to help you so much in getting gigs as a singer. Number one, let's talk about the importance of networking. Why networking matters. You know, here's what's interesting about singers. Most often, singers are very much introspective. They're kind of more private. And so where I would normally in a video like this say, just be great on stage, that's what you need to go for, I wanted to give you something extremely unique with this one by saying network with people. Be friendly. Start to learn about who in your community is a singer, a songwriter, performer. Those are the people that you want to interact with. You probably haven't heard very many people talk about that, but it is so important in order to get gigs. Why is that? The reason is because when you know what events they're doing, you can then become friends with them, support them, help them, and be their encourager. I truly believe when you serve others and you give to them, they will help you as well. When you start to network with other singers, what happens is you can go to their events with them. You can help set up their sound system. This is at the very beginning stages of your career, or as you start to mentor and help others along once you've made it as well. I hope you'll consider adopting that philosophy anyway, because that's a nice promise of the singer who's made it, is to support other singers as well. But if you show up and you set up their sound system and you help them sell things on their table, maybe you're taking pictures or videos on their behalf, maybe you're grabbing some testimonial footage, maybe you're even helping get their check. There's all kinds of ways that you can support one another in a network situation among singers. The singers that I have known that have done the very best are some of the greatest networkers in the whole entire world. They're used to being around other singers. Everyone knows who is who. And the reason this also helps is it ups your game. The rising tide rises all ships. We've heard that before. And it's true with getting singing gigs. I would recommend not just being friends with only the singers. Imagine expanding your network to even more people, such as the venue owner, the venue manager, the audio-visual people, the sound engineers, the backstage manager, the front stage manager. Getting to know everybody at every single event helps you to spread the message of what you do, and then you can share that you're available to be helpful. When you have this kind of perspective where you're thinking to yourself, okay, I know I'm good, I've got the goods, I'm a great singer, well, you need somewhere to perform. And so when you have the opportunity to talk to other people in all the different venues that you're going to be going to while supporting your friends and your peers in the singing industry, it's going to help you be known even more. What I find tragic is how many great singers there are out there that don't do what I'm talking about right now. I've coached singers that have gone on to be very, very successful at this, and other singers that have decided, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to stick to myself, do my own thing. I'm not going to talk to people. I'm just going to go to the venue, do my gig, and get out of there. There's power in knowing your audience. There's power in knowing the venue owner and manager. There's power in being friendly as a singer. The reason is because then people want you around. They want to help you. I request of you to make a promise to me right now while you're watching this video that you're going to be that kind of singer who's friendly, helpful, and thinking about other people. When you do that, you will succeed even greater. So here's some tips for effective networking as a singer. Go to as many events as you possibly can. Local music events, local festivals, charity functions, and even seminars. Yes, you can learn so much just by attending something in a different industry and by letting people know that you're available as a singer when you attend a networking event that's put on by business owners or for leaders in the community. You're going to be one of very few that shows up and they'll be like, what do you do? And you say, I'm a singer, and they'll say, we need a singer for our next event. It's so amazing because they've probably never networked with somebody like you. What I used to do is I would actually wear a fedora that I bought at TJ Maxx. I think it was $18. But I put on a fedora and I signed up for the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and I signed up for a bunch of different alliances, which were all business owners. When I showed up at those events and I started talking about why I was wearing my hat, I would say, I'm a singer. I'd love to come and sing at your event. They were like, what are you doing here? I'd say, I'm getting to know you. I want to learn business and I want to meet you. Next thing I know, they're all hiring me because I'm the only singer that's ever talked to them. And that's one of the ways I've become so successful at it. When I was starting my career as a singer and performer, entertainer, and so forth, there was no social media. Yeah, that's how old I am. I mean, you can tell with the gray, right? But 25 years ago, no social media. We were burning things on CDs and DVDs to try to promote ourselves. And so social media is a perfect place to leverage your talents. Make sure your social media presence is active and is powerful so that people know when you're performing and where. And guess what? Even if you don't have any gigs right now and you're like, how do I get a gig? Go live on social media. Just press play. I dare you. Some of the greatest artists in the world have been launching because of social media. They're incredible to watch their climb because they're willing to share all of their talents on those different platforms. Choose your platform and start going live. One of the best things I like to also recommend with the usage of social media is when you do attend somebody else's concert, this is a really cool thing you can do. Go join their Instagram page and then take a photo of them while you're watching them perform on stage. I don't care how famous they are. Majority of the time, they're going to see that because it's their personal account. I like to tag them, put a picture of them online, and say how awesome the concert is and that I'm a new fan. And the next thing I know, a majority of them, no matter how famous, are saying, hey, thank you so much. That's awesome. And I've received a few followbacks from some pretty cool people because I do this practice. I recommend you try it. Sometimes I'll even DM that artist and say, you were so great. Here's some pictures I took. Wonderful job. Can't wait to follow your career. This has led me to many opportunities to be able to interact with some pretty cool people. I would also recommend within your networking to consider in-person meetings. I have a friend named Sean Bott. He is a mentalist and a speaker entertainer. He is the master of this, and he's the one that's always contacting me saying, when are we going to go out? When are we going to hang out? When are we going to go get something to eat? I remember doing this at the beginning of my career. Sean is already in a really good spot in his career, and he's still doing it, so I admire his tenacity. When I began my career, I started with that process of trying to figure out how to get people to go to lunch with me, how I could treat them, how I could learn from them, and networking in person is such a great way outside of just doing social media. Many years ago, I had an opportunity with one of the legends of music. His name, Bobby Ingeman. He was one of the founders of a group called The Letterman. Yeah, go look up The Letterman. They had huge hits way back when, and I remember Bobby was in his later years of life. But when I connected with Bobby, the next thing I knew, I was recording my first demo under his direction. In fact, he was on the other side of this camera in my life at that moment while I was recording my songs. It was so powerful to have a legend of the industry helping me. I recommend you reach out to the local legends around you. They are there. There are people that have made a living around you that could help you. They want to mentor you. Reach out to them. Ask for their help because they're willing to help you. That's one of their signature moves. So your actionable takeaway with that networking process, and that's the one I'm spending the most bulk of this time in the video about, is I want you to make a list of the industry events you can attend. Make a list of the new friends you're going to create and go find, and the friendships that you're going to build, and that's going to transform your career. Let's dive into the rest. Let's talk about building your portfolio. Some components of a strong portfolio include things like having a good website or a good online presence, having a great social media so that people know where to find you, and making sure that you're on the right platforms for people to be able to enjoy and consume your music. One of the challenges is that we might not post in a place where people can get it. Make it so it's consumable and an easy place for them to find. I like to host all of my things on jasonhewlett.com. That just gives you an example as to where I'll be, but then there are other people who use other platforms. Choose for yourself because that's your portfolio you need to share with everybody. Let's talk about finding the right gigs. There are plenty of gigs to consider, and there shouldn't be any that are beneath you as you get started, but I want you to think about how you can get gigs at a wedding or even at a funeral. You can get gigs at a fair and for the civic groups, the charities, the schools, you name it. But the more gigs that you get, the more you're going to realize which ones are the right ones for you. If somebody calls me and says, hey, we need you to be in the corner and performing for our event while while we mingle, I say, that's not the right gig for me right now, and I'll help refer somebody else. If I know about you, I'm going to refer you. So here's what I want you to do. I need you to put in the comments, if you will, what you do and how I can find out about you. I want to help you if I possibly can, because I need great artists to refer to my clients as well. So put your name and your info in there so I can check out your portfolio. Let's talk about how to approach venues and clients. Here are some tips for effective pitching to clients. First of all, know your value. How much do you charge? What do you want to be worth whenever you sing? Be clear about what you're going to deliver. I'd recommend that you put together an email as to how you would pitch yourself, just so you can see what it looks like. Even practice sending a direct message to somebody on social media. These types of practices take you from being just the singer-artist that you are to being a business person, and this is very important for you to get gigs. Now let's talk about staying ahead of the curve. Here are some really innovative ways to land a gig. I'd like to encourage you to do some virtual concerts in case you're having a challenge getting actual gigs at a building or at a venue. Start by pressing play. I actually created many different shows during the pandemic when everything shut down and we couldn't do live events. So I put together funny shows like Santa Got Run Over by a Reindeer, but I called it Santa Got Run Over by a Raptor. It was comedy mixed with music, and that was a way that I could make some money in a virtual aspect. Have you tried virtual yet? How about collaboration? Maybe teaming up with another great artist, somebody that you trust. Maybe you can open for them or they can open for you. That's a cool way to pitch something to a different venue. Crowdsourcing is also helpful. Kickstarter campaigns, letting people know that they can get something from you when they help you to launch all that you're working on toward your next album. What I love so much about this guy named Travis Scott that you've probably heard of is that he put together a concert through Fortnite. Yeah, he became a legend with all these kids that were playing Fortnite. Now they loved his music. He essentially launched a new aspect to his career just by doing something creative and collaboratively with a video game. What a smart move. What a great way to get gigs. So I'd like you to choose for yourself one of the many ways I've given you in this video, opportunities that you can go out and get some gigs. What I'd like you to do as well, this is something I need from you right now, as I told you earlier, go into the comments, put your information so I can find you and help refer you. I appreciate you watching this video. Let's go help you get some gigs.